Digital transformation is the process of applying technologies like AI, automation, and advanced analytics to fundamentally change the process of drug discovery in ways that measurably reduce risk, timelines, and cost. Every year, 2,000 new Phase 1 programs are added to the pipelines of biotech and pharmaceutical companies. For every one of these publicly disclosed programs, there are 2 to 4 programs waiting in the wings. Despite the large numbers of programs in the pipeline and the previous 20 years of technological changes, the attrition rate for these programs remains stubbornly high. On the journey from the bench to the bedside, 9 out of every 10 drugs will fail. Over 60% of drugs will fail during Phase 2 trials. The costs for successfully making this journey have been estimated by the Tufts Center for the Study of Drug Development at $2.6 billion. The journey itself averages a minimum of 12 years. And although these costs vary by modality and therapeutic area, they are still staggering. The only way to change this calculus is to transform the manner in which drug discovery and development are pursued and the technologies used to support this process. The investor landscape that biotech companies rely upon to fund these endeavors is changing. Over the past 3 years, venture capital markets have become more risk-averse. Biotech companies that were successful in securing funding were characterized by 2 things: promising Phase 2 results and a digital transformation plan that demonstrated how the company would employ technologies like AI, automation, and advanced analytics to be more capital efficient, while reducing both risk and timelines. Let's take a closer look at some of the key areas in the drug discovery process, where these technologies can transform your research operations and improve the effectiveness of your drug discovery teams.
Each year, approximately 1.6 million papers are added to PubMed. Keeping up with the latest developments in any given indication is daunting at the best of times. Pipeline's literature management module uses AI to help scientists find, organize, and summarize journal articles. The system automatically extracts key information such as drug targets, associated diseases, biological pathways, and related references, highlighting crucial findings and facilitating quick review and prioritization of potential targets. The expected productivity improvements include reduced time required for literature reviews and faster identification of targets from literature.
Selecting a target is one of the first critical decisions that a company must make. Information about targets, though, is usually scattered across different systems, both internal and external. The information that's critical to this decision-making process differs depending on the type of target and the indication or therapeutic area, so it's critical to have a template-driven system that allows you to capture information in a flexible yet consistent manner. To make an informed decision about a target requires everything from basic information about the target and its function, to protein domain maps, sequence annotations, protein structure, pathway information, and information on clinically relevant variants. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. With a limited number of resources, namely time, people, and cash, it's crucial that we understand the risks and prioritize the work that must be done. To do that, most companies use a method of target scoring that is often unique to the company. Pipeline's target management module lets scientists create their own scoring algorithms based on parameters that are unique to the company. The expected productivity improvements include data-driven target scoring and prioritization, optimized resource allocation, and creating a risk-balanced target portfolio.
Often there is no single consistent entry point that allows a scientist to learn about a project or see the current status of the project. Information is often spread out in shared drives, presentations, electronic lab notebooks, and a myriad of other systems. If you are new to the company or new to a project, this often means having to learn where critical information is located on a project-by-project basis and a dataset-by-dataset basis. Pipeline's project management tools makes it easy to find this information because it's all organized in a consistent fashion. Projects can use common templates to ensure that data are captured consistently. Project planning information like target product profiles and assay plans are always organized in the same fashion. And Gridall templates make it easy to plan each milestone and include goals, risks, issues, decisions, and lessons learned. The expected productivity gains include improved planning and communication across the company, more consistent and transparent project information, and reduced time spent looking for project information.
Protein production plays a critical role in evaluating the target, and in later stages it is essential in designing and evaluating new molecules. The process of designing and creating new protein target forms usually begins as a conversation between the chemist and the protein scientist. As the design of the protein evolves, it's useful to be able to predict the structure of the protein using AI-based tools like AlphaFold, OpenFold, and Boltz. Many companies rely on CROs to perform critical steps in the process. Pipeline's protein production module is designed to be configurable, making it easy to route requests to CROs and to customize both the workflow and each step in it. When combined with a registration and inventory system, protein scientists can register clones, biomasses, and purified proteins, and to keep track of their inventories without leaving their workflow. An integrated rack scanner makes it even easier to keep the inventories up to date. The expected productivity gains include reduced costs of synthesis and screening, along with the time required for both.
Chemistry is perhaps one of the areas with the greatest opportunity for digital transformation. One of the simplest starting points is to create request queues and workflows that allow chemists to track synthesis requests, whether those are internal requests or external CRO requests. This queue feeds your chemistry design, make, test, analyze cycle. Recently, companies have begun integrating AI into these DMTA cycles. The process begins with an initial in silico DMTA cycle, where generative chemistry is used to rapidly design a library of molecules. During the make phase of the cycle, AI is used for retrosynthetic analysis to determine how the compounds could be synthesized. These virtual compounds are placed in a virtual registry, and their physicochemical and ADMET properties are calculated. An AI-based virtual screening is then performed to identify promising compounds, and the results are then analyzed using AI-augmented structure-activity relationship software.
Once a round of AI-augmented chemistry has been completed, the most promising compounds can be queued up as part of an automated synthesis request. At this transition point, from virtual chemistry to real chemistry, compounds are synthesized, purified, registered, tested in an assay cascade, and analyzed. Automated sample management systems can keep an inventory of reagents needed for your synthesis. Robotic liquid handlers, shakers, and cappers/decappers are used to support the reaction itself and the finishing process. After the synthesis is complete, the process is typically handed off to the analytical chemistry team for purification and analysis, and here again it's important to capture and track the purification request and the resulting analytical report before the purified compound is registered and placed into inventory. The compounds are then handed off to an assay cascade, and data from these assays are fed back into the system to help refine the AI models. Whether your process makes use of on-site automated chemistry platforms or off-site CRO-based workflows, a digital transformation can help you manage the process more effectively, reduce your costs, and accelerate your drug discovery process. There are a number of ways to transform how your team manages the assay request process. In the initial assay registration step, you define the protocol for the assay, configure a request queue, and create a plate layout. You configure an assay data template that tells the system how to parse data files and load the data into the system. You can also define security constraints for your assay and thus control who is allowed to request the assay and who is notified whenever the status of the assay request changes. You can even specify whether or not an assay request requires approval before it can be started. Assay request queues make it possible to track requests for assays, along with their current status. With plate request management, requests can be forwarded to a sample management group so that assay-ready plates can be prepared. Automated plating robots can prepare dose-response plates or other plate formats as needed. These tools improve the speed with which assays can be performed and the communication between chemists, assayists, and the sample management team.
A recent analysis by Grandview Research showed continued growth in the number of outsourced projects. The drug discovery chemistry market is predicted to grow to $17.7 billion in 2025, despite the current uncertainties in the biotech market as a whole. This growth points to a continued reliance on CROs as a critical partner in a number of key areas such as chemistry, protein production, and screening. It also highlights the need for improved communication, data sharing, and request management between CROs and biotech companies. To enable these kinds of CRO collaborations, it's critical that scientists should be able to route requests for services to their CRO partners without leaving the context of their workflows. In this example, a request has been sent to a CRO to synthesize a targeted library of compounds. The chemist is able to track the progress of the request and receive a notification when the compounds are ready.
So far, we've taken a look at a number of opportunities for digital transformation in drug discovery, but a successful digital transformation hinges on a well-defined roadmap. A roadmap provides a structured approach for project planning that outlines a clear path to success, linking individual projects to specific business objectives and timelines. It helps effectively allocate budget by setting precise expectations for resources and establishing measurable KPIs for success. Moreover, it provides the company with a common evolutionary vision for the company and lays out opportunities where the integration of digital technologies like AI, automation, and advanced analytics can measurably improve business performance. Let us help you transform your company's research operations and make a difference in the lives of patients. Contact us for more information.